Welcome to the Parts and Labor Podcast, the podcast that explores the strategies, systems, and stories that drive salon success. I'm Alicia, founder and CEO of SalonScale.
And I'm Whitney, head of sales here at SalonScale.
And welcome to the Parts and Labor Podcast.
All right. Well, I think that it's no secret that a lot of the success of SalonScale comes from you. You know, you're a salon owner who implemented this within your own salon. So take us back to the beginning. Tell us about how this came to be and how you got this idea and really where it started.
Well, it wasn't that long ago, but it does feel like a while ago. But I think that I always strive to building the best of anything I could. Best experience for the staff, everything else. And so I started with building the salon. I started building Capelli. And before I was the salon owner, I went independent. So I've been a solopreneur, then became a salon owner. And I always knew I wanted a team. And a lot of it is about giving back to people after, building a career for myself. And so when I started the salon, I ride the hype train. So when you build a business, you essentially, you're killing it the first couple of years, right? Because it's a new brand, it's a new location, and the vibes are really high. And so revenues are likely going to increase year over year. And so as a former stylist, of course, I'm sales and marketing focused. So it hit that ego really well. I felt really good. And then, you hit your year 3, year 4, and then you realize, the operational inefficiencies kind of kick in. And that's when that taps into the imposter syndrome. That taps into the fear of talking to an accountant, fear of talking to lawyers, fear of going to the bank, anything around business ops for a salon owner typically is a thing that's I don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. And it's just about really not knowing. So I think SalonScale truly, honestly came to me out of a blessing. But the journey to where we are today came naturally, it unfolded on its own. So I don't want anyone to ever think that oh, you just made this thing and then you knew exactly how to do it. No, it was years of me figuring this out as I went. And as I learned it with the industry. And then the industry was adopting a lot of the systems and a lot of the trials and errors along the way. But again, coming back to it, I still remember specifically, I was taking a client and I had this idea, and it was because I just renovated the salon. I thought we needed to make more money. We needed to charge more, so we need to make the salon better. So we started to renovate the salon, and I went and got paint mixed, and I went to this, saw their machine, and I thought, maybe we should have a machine at the salon to mix our colors. And then that same day I went and got frozen yogurt with my family. And every single one of us put our bowl on there, and it was a different cost. And it was a light bulb went off. And in the same breath I said, there's just no way you can scale a machine. There's no way every brand manufacturer is going to put their products into a machine, nor would a salon adopt a massive machine and then the maintenance and everything. I was it's just not going to scale. And then as I said the word scale, I was holy shit, it's the scale. We're already doing this. We're already mixing at the back bar. We're usually using scales. Some of us are free pouring. Lots of us may be free pouring. But I think, essentially it was this missed opportunity of a lot of, a lot of costs that were kind of all throughout that back bar. And there's been several moments in my career through SalonScale where I had these electric moments. That was the first. That was the moment where something was bigger than me. It was something I would kind of call it a calling. It's something beyond you. You can't really explain it. You just have to jump. And so I didn't know what I was getting into. I just knew I had to do it. And I just could feel the impact it could make. So I just continued the journey. But yeah, I essentially thought all we need is an update and a scale. We just need a technology. If we can get frozen yogurt to tell us what the cost of that is, we sure could do this with hair color. Mm-hmm. And I just I went really fast. I basically found downloaded anything that could help me understand how to build an app. Like I thought, oh, you just make an app and then you put it in the app store and boom, we're good. That's not how it works. Just so you know, that's not how it works. But I essentially started to look out. I was like, what do I need to do? What are the steps I need to take? And so I found this outsourced company that was local, that could make apps. So I made a meeting within that first week. I honestly, the craziest thing, I think like in 7 days, I had already like got domains. I found the name SalonScale. Like I had that all down pat. And then I was like, I met up at this meeting. I was like, here's the company, here's the vision, here's what we need to make. And I think they thought I was a little crazy at first, but I was like, so it'll be ready next week. They're like, no, this will take us months to like get like a minimum viable product to be done. So anyways, fast forward to that journey. So I'm now sitting in this meeting. They're estimating what it's going to cost to build this. And this is that next moment where my calling now was being challenged by finance. I sat in that room and was told like, this is going to be $50,000 to be able to build what you want. And I had to really think like, am I now going to take all of my life savings and now put it into this idea? Meanwhile, I still have a salon that was not as profitable as it should be. Mm-hmm. And so I just like leaned into it. I think it's like that, just lean into it. And you just know there's something there. There's something that I had this feeling at that moment. And so I leaned in, and I signed over like our first check, started building it out. And after a few months, I got called to come in and see the test, like see the first kind of what they say is an MVP. But I went into there with all these, like there was a lot of developers, designers all around the table. None of them knew salon life. But we put pens on the scale and I looked up at the screen and it was like programmed as Olaplex. And it showed me exactly how much those pens cost in Olaplex. And that was my second moment. Like that was the moment where like I had emotion, like a lot of emotion. Like that was the moment where I was like, this is going to fucking change the industry. Like this is going to save this feeling, save salons, and save like this underlying issue as a salon owner, which is everything on the outside looks great, but like I don't know why I'm still not getting paid for what I'm doing. Like I still like I just want to build something successful. And like in that moment, all of that came in, and it was like life-changing. Like it made me just emotional, I guess I'd say. And so I just knew that my life was going to be different after that. And I knew that probably my future didn't look like me being the salon owner anymore. So I think that was like that next kind of stage, which was like, okay, well, what do I do now? So again, I had some friends that talked to me about local incubators, accelerators, and I had no idea what those are, but essentially that's where you go with ideas and they help you, bring the product to market or how to build a startup essentially and help you get access to funding or capital, whatever you need. And so I remember showing up with like scale in the bag and being like, this is my product. This is what it does. And they're like, okay, like, let's give this a shot. So I was like the only non-technical founder in this cohort, only female, and obviously the only one from the beauty space. Everybody was, building some innovative AI or like some type of like technology that was advanced. And I went through this program, and at the end of the program, we had to pitch our product and pitch in front of investors. And I won. And it was such a validation moment because now I knew that like there was a bridge between inside the salon industry, where I was a salon owner in that industry, to now validated externally into like the world of, whether it's investment or really just business in general. Like I felt very like, okay, this is a validated situation. It's not just a nice to have. It will make change. And so after that, I went into straight startup founder mode. I got myself to understand how to raise my first rounds of funding, to be able to hire a ton of people that I didn't even know what their titles would do or how to even explain, I need this thing to be built this way. It's like, what kind of developer are you? A full stack? Great. Awesome. I don't know what that is, but you're hired. But I think the beauty of being a salon owner and a stylist was you communicate with people every day. You have to communicate like, what do you want? You know, it's like someone shows you a picture and you have to break that down in that moment, and you had to have that relationship with them. So like the gift of being a salon owner and stylist, I had learned how to like communicate. Mm-hmm. And so then hiring people that are, very, very talented in other sectors, whether it's marketing, whether it's development or anything. I may not know what or how to do it, but I knew what we needed to do. And I think as any business owner, if you really know why you're doing what you're doing. So we had a purpose, we had a vision, we knew why we needed to do, we knew what it was. You need to find the people to know how and when. And that's basically how that kind of started. And so that kind of brings me to like talking to you. And, there's a little mixture of us kind of in our conversations because, you were a part of a lot of that. And a lot of it was like formally before from the salon, from a client all the way into, really working in SalonScale. So like, I feel like now's the time for you to kind of bring your side to it because you got to watch that whole journey from your side too.
Yeah, I think it's funny you say that because I knew you, like you said, before you started SalonScale. You did my hair for my wedding when I had just moved here. And then we met again at the gym. So I always heard about it, and you were so excited about it. And I remember asking you like every day, like, how many salons now? And you'd be like 30, and I'd be like, what? But it's crazy too to hear your whole story because I knew you as the owner of Capelli, and so you were like in my mind, my rich friend. Like you owned Capelli, like you might have as well been a trillionaire. And so to hear that. And I know this relates to a lot of salon owners that I talk to, like what's on paper and what's like the public sees isn't oftentimes like what's actually happening. And there's a lot of money not making it to the bank account, and so it was really interesting. I would say that was probably the most surprising thing to me, but
I thought I was rich too at that time. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, it's been amazing. And then I had my son, and after coming back to work, after having him, I was talking to you at the gym one day, and you were telling me about a beer pong table that you wanted to install in your office space. And I said, that sounds like a lot of fun. Can I come work there? And as a joke, but you said, yes. You said,
you start now.
Yes.
We'll see you on Monday.
Yeah. You're like, I've actually thought about you coming to work for us. And so then it actually happened. And I feel like you like made a role for me, like, because we already had someone in customer success, and you're just like, well, just start doing half this job and just we'll see, kind of a startup life. I had never worked for a startup, and so I didn't know that it was just kind of, you wore a lot of different hats. And so yeah, I started off in customer success, answering emails and phone calls, and I've had a few different roles since then, which landed me to sales, which I still remember you sitting me down. I had never had a sales job before. And I remember you sitting me down where you were kind of meeting like with everybody and going over reviews, over like how the year went, like where you see everybody going and stuff. And you said, we want you to like start doing sales. And I said, no. Initially, I was just like, absolutely not. Like, I'm not pushy. That's never a role I've kind of wanted to do. And you're like, if we will support you, if you're bad at this, we'll train you more, like we'll help you. And I've actually really come to enjoy it. And I'm so grateful now for the opportunity. And it's something that I like selling because I understand like you're helping people. Like I get to see, from beginning to end what SalonScale can do for the salon. So it's been really rewarding. So thanks.
Well, you know what? And we'll keep on going from there.
Yeah.
I think like also too, like when you build a business or you build this thing, you have like this huge belief. You need a lot of believers. Like you need a lot of people that have belief. And I think that's like where we connect. That's where I connect with majority of my employees. It's like it also starts on this, like, we're going to do this, like getting really people wrapped into like why we want to do that. I think that's important because that's what gets you through the hard times. And that's more important than anything else. And so I remember just being like, I watched you as another entrepreneur. You know, you were running your own business, like self-employed, running here
I
and
was
there.
making scrunchies from my home. Okay, that's what she means when she says running her own business.
But
right?
you know what?
Not the same.
The thing is, like, setting up the infrastructure, getting the client, and you had demand. You had a lot of demand. I was like, can we just, like, can you come here and like, but like, I saw you sell yourself every day, and you always had a smile on your face, and I could see like what you could do for the industry, right? So like, it's again, like, it's like you think mission aligned. It's like, how do you get as many people as possible to be like aligned on this mission? It's like, it's bigger than us. Like, again, from that electric moment, it's like you need to surround yourself with an army of people that are on this mission, because it's going to be hard and there's going to be lots of ups, there's going to be lots of downs. So it's like, we're going to try new roles, new different things, but like, it's about just like, what is the purpose? Why do I do what I do? And so I think that like when we connected, like right away, I was like, okay, like first of all, I feel like I hit the jackpot, because I think, like the personality and like the connection and the desire and the hard work, the ethics, like I feel like that has also helped. And I just think that like watching how, like where we're at now, and especially with the Parts and Labor podcast, there is more advocacy we're moving into now. We've truly seen the results of like getting through imposter, becoming on the first sales calls, to now like leading salons through transitions in their business. Like, this isn't just a movement anymore. This is a transformation. And to transform people, you absolutely have to get to that level of advocacy. And that's really where we are right now. Mm-hmm. And so I wouldn't want any other partner in crime other than you to continue to say the message is like, we've proven and really validated a change that I think we both believe that, I hope and I pray that, the entire industry adopts. Mm-hmm. And that takes majority of the market from living like the rich friend and looking out and like looking like they're the big deal, when meanwhile they're coming home and they don't actually have that reality. Like, we actually can give that to them now. Mm-hmm. And that's what this is really where it's at. And so I think that kind of leads into why we're here.
So I have a lot of questions for you on the logistics of SalonScale and integrate it within the salon and how you did it. But I think that's a good place to stop today, and we can touch on that on our next episode. So if you want to hear more from Alicia and really about how she did it and how she made this work and why it was successful, tune into our next episode.